Alright, this is James again, and this is attempt number 4 at part 19. Where we last left off, this character, this is the best reference material. I'm not great at art, and I've tried looking for a watermark on this, and I can't find it. This was just pulled off of Google image searches, and the web pages that I found that had this, there's no, I can't really find the original artist. So if anyone knows who the original artist is of this, please let me know so that I can link there, so I can explain who they are and send all credits to the original artist of this, because I don't like someone stealing art, and I think it's kind of trashy. So if anyone does knows who the original artist of this is, please let me know, so that I can give them the appropriate credit for making this piece of artwork. That being said, let's get back into this. So where we last left off, Shinko had basically explained to Izuku about her quirk and why she was doing what she was doing. And so after the press conference and everything, they start to they go through all the dorm system and stuff like that. Well, during this time, Izuku's basically been comatose, and the 2 weeks that they gave the kids off after this and everything, so that they could get the dorm system in effect and everything, they went to the parents, and all the parents pretty much agreed, because all the students from 1A and 1B were telling their parents is look, I know you guys don't like this. The parents that were having troubles, the kids were we want to do this. And so pretty much everyone goes into the dorm system in canon. So we cut back over to Izuku's dreamscape. And and this is the first week that he was there, the thing where Shinko happened, where she explains who she was and everything about her quirks. She pretty much left, and he's just seriously been there thinking, and then every once in a while the vestiges show up, and Nana speaks to him every once in a while, explaining that explaining one for all better, and something's weird has went on happened with Toshinori. And so then after a week of him speaking to the vestiges, and Nana basically being their voice, Shinko shows back up, and this is how this will be what goes on in that. And at this point, Deku is just sitting in a room and everything, and he hears Midoriya, are you there? Deku hears this, and he's I am, but who are you? And she walks back into view, and she's well, I'm here to explain a few things, because I've been debating on whether I should tell you this or not, and you deserve to know. So she goes in to explain that when she was meditating one day, Hisashi had, because she was still meditating, trying to figure out if what she felt was real or not, and she felt a presence in the room, and out of reflex, like she got up and she threw electricity at Hisashi. And like Hisashi ran and everything, and she basically is the one that actually killed Hisashi. And she explains to Deku that she thought that Shigaraki, or All For One, had sent him, but when Hisashi was like dying, one thing that made her start like breaking down, and it's the reason why she doesn't deserve to call Izuku family. So he says, all I wanted was to find their family. And with this, like, and she's like, I figured you might be one, like, I thought you might be able to help my son. And with that, like, Hisashi, like, died. And this, like, she realized that this man wasn't sent by All For One. He was just looking for family, and she just pretty much lost the chance of like actually finding these two. And so she spent years trying to find them, and then when she found out who this man's name was, and she was able to like actually move, like get to Japan without All For One finding out that she's back in the country. Like time had like several years had passed, and she couldn't get to Inko in time. So she had to like leave the area again, and then by the time she got back, several years had already passed, and she was the presence that Izuku felt in the hospital when they were kids. And she's kind of like the image of like her like crying and everything, like is like Izuku's like completely confused about this. It's like, wait, what? You killed my father? What? And this is like angered Izuku, and she's like, I know, and this is why I don't deserve to call you family, because I've taken someone from you, and I wasn't there. I didn't get there fast enough to save poor Inko. But there is one thing I can do for you, and that's help you learn how to control your quirk more. So, like, over the next week, Izuku's like, wait. Like, during that conversation, Izuku's like, wait, our quirk? What do you mean about that? And she goes into more depth about like what her quirk exactly does. And it's kind of like his bonding quirk, but she's like anyone that she's blood related to, she can sort of sense out. And the closer she is to them, the stronger the connection is. So, like, she explains that I know I have no right to be in your life, but at least I can help train your quirk. And if you ever need any advice, you can contact me through this. And she basically explains to Izuku how to like actually use this quirk. And like Izuku doesn't exactly get it, and then she says, like, your second quirk, you haven't been really training it to its fullest. Like, your superhuman quirk is different from mine. It's more, it's probably like more advanced than mine, but I don't know if you have the longevity part of it. And she basically explains to him that she had to meditate to unlock these things, and she is going over details about like how like the quirk explicitly works, and she's telling Izuku, if you can master your quirks, like you've only been focusing on the physical aspect of your superhuman side of the quirk, and you haven't really focused on the mental aspects of it. Basically, willful control over like your cellular structure, sort of like how she explains it. She's like, I'm not really good at this because I've never really trained anyone, but I don't want you turning out like I did. I don't want you to have a life of regrets where you have blood on your hands. That's at least the one thing I can give to you, instead of just taking from you. And so over the next like 3 weeks of Izuku like talking to the vestiges and stuff like that, and then eventually, like after a week, like she says, you know, you can wake up now, like the damage is repaired and your life energy is like recovered like some. And Izuku is like, but I'm not done yet. Like, I get it, and I accept that you won't be in my life, but at least give me this. And so they spend like another 2 weeks in the outside world time, which feels more like a year for them, like in this dreamscape, because of how fast like the information is being traded between the two. Like they're basically talking at the speed of thought. And like all the physical training that they're doing isn't really physical training, it's just mental training, like mental meditation. Like, you know how in Dragon Ball Z, how Gohan and Piccolo and Goku can do like those mental training exercises, like basically meditating and thinking about the combat, like different ways to like do this. This is basically what she's doing with the Izuku. And she's like she's really helping him like understand his quirk more. And towards the end, like during this time, Izuku is touching on holding all the power in like a small compartment so he can expend, so that the speed that he can gain from like his superhuman quirk is like greater than before. And then like towards the end, she kind of asks him, she's like, I noticed you had scars on your hand and everything, why do you still keep those? And Izuku's like, what do you mean? And it's like, well, you healed that young boy's scar, like why don't you just do it to yourself? And then Izuku kind of like looks down at his hands in his dreamscape, like thinking, it's like, wait, what do you mean I can heal myself from these? Like, I thought these were permanent. And she's like, that's part of the superhuman quirk. Like your blood is enhanced. Like you have amazing regenerative capabilities, probably more so than mine, but it doesn't seem it seems like you still have like dendrite deterioration, and like your lifespan won't be as long as mine has. Like you probably won't live past like 120, like before you like start aging rapidly. So he's thinking about it and everything, and then like he he's like, like, you're right. Like, why do I keep them? And in his dreamscape, his hands heal. Well, at this time, we'll cut over to the real world, like not inside of Izuku. It's like Momo and Kendo are sitting there, like holding his hand, like, and they're kind of like, this has been like 2 weeks. And Izuku, like, they are holding his hands, and then all of a sudden the scars on his hands just disappear. And they're like, they get excited, and like they call in the doctors and everything, and then they run some more tests on Izuku, and they're like, we don't understand this, like he should come out of his coma, but it seems like something's holding him back from doing it. Because like he's known to have like these scars and stuff on his hands, and like they're gone now. So like they're like, well, he may come out of this coma, but he may not. But the scars disappearing, like, we guess it's a good sign because he's healing. So it's like it's confirmed that he is actually like healing while he's in this state. And because of like his condition, they don't want to like use healing quirks on him because like it could potentially kill him and everything, and like they don't want to like risk it. Well, at least Mitsuki isn't like allowing them to do it because she doesn't want to risk it, because she did promise that she would keep Izuku safe to Inko. So that being said, we cut back to the dreamscape. And in the dreamscape, Izuku's like is thinking about it, just sitting there. And he, every so often, he'll have conversation with Nana and the Vestiges, and he will have conversation with Shinku. And she's, during like their sessions, like Izuku asked her, so like, are you even in Japan anymore? And she's like, unfortunately, I had to flee Japan. And this kind of saddens Izuku, and she's like, what, why are you sad about this? It's like, well, even though you killed my dad, like, it was kind of in self-defense, and like I won't ever forgive you for taking his life, but you're still family. And I get that you don't want to be in my life, and that kind of upsets me, but like I get it. Like, it's too much. There's too much negativity like between us that it wouldn't. It probably would be best if you weren't physically in my life, but at least allow us to keep doing this if I ever like need your advice. And then Shinko says, like, I promise. And something like weird happens. Like, Shinko's eyes kind of like glow in this dream state, and she's like, and then Izuku's eyes start glowing, and she's like, well, I guess your training has come to an end. All I can say is keep doing what I've explained to you, and eventually you'll have the power to protect those that you care most about. Don't end up like I was. I lost everyone that I cared about, and I thought I was alone in this world. You may not have any blood relatives, but through your memories, through what I've been able to gather, it seems like the Bakugos really care about you and think of you as though you're one of their own. And Izuku kind of like laughs at this, and he's like, yeah, like they pretty much are like another family to me. And she's like, well, you should use that. Like, don't focus on the pain in your life because it'll make you bitter. And with that, like, she leaves for the final time, and then Izuku spends like another day comatose, and this is about like almost a month after the events of the battle for all for one. And Izuku like is sitting there, and both Kendo and Momo had like they come to the hospital to visit him and everything, and they're sitting there talking, and like they basically are sitting there like, and they're saying, Izuku, please come back to us. Like, we didn't want this happening to you. Like, if you don't come back, we don't know what we're going to do. And a few minutes after they say this, Mitsuki and Kazuri are like coming by, and like Kazuri kind of like walks up to the bed and like kind of like lays next to Izuku, like, and starts crying. She's like, and all of a sudden she feels a pat on her head, and Izuku says, there's no reason for me to be crying, like, I'm okay. I just had to I had to make sure I was healthy so I wouldn't so nothing bad would happen to me, and I was basically just healing myself. And she kind of like looks up, and like she starts bawling. She's like, you're back. And at this point, like, Momo and Kendo had like turned around because they heard his voice and they thought they were hearing things, but then they actually see Izuku sitting up, and he kind of looks like this, like he has a smile on his face and everything. And as you can see, this person's watermark is up here next to the head, just above the right shoulder. So do go check them out and everything. I'll leave this here for a couple of seconds so that there's plenty of time for you to pause it and to like look up this artist. So that being said, we cut back to, so imagine Izuku smiling and everything, and just kind of skinny, muscular, like this image. The artist's tag is down below his left elbow. Like, I finally actually found that. And I can't really find a link to like what the name of this person is, but they have a water tag down by the left elbow, so you can look them up. And Izuku like doesn't have like all the scars that he had, but he did keep one. And it was the scar on the palm of his hand that was when he was a kid that he got from when him and Katsuki had their fight, and it's his reminder of like the pain that he suffered to always stay grounded. And so, like, Momo and Kendo kind of, like, run to him and, like, hug him. They're, like, and start breaking down. And, like, his whole family, like, Mitsuki is, like, crying too. And he looks up and he's like, Mom, I'm sorry for worrying you. But I, I, I couldn't just let him die. I, I, I couldn't let All Might die. I couldn't let it happen. And everything. And Mitsuki's like, it's fine, sweetie. Like, you're finally awake. And he's like, what do you mean, finally awake? And this is when Momo, like, brushes her tears off. She's like, Izuku, like, you've been in a coma for, like, the past month. Like, you've been in a coma for, like, 32 days now. Like, it's been 32 days that you've just been laying in this bed. And he's like, what do you mean 32 days? Like, what, isn't it only been, like, a week? And this is when Izuku realizes that to him, it seemed like a year, like, in his mind. And he understands, like, in his mind he can, like, move, like, it would, time kind of seems to pass slower than what it does while he's awake. And, like, he comprehends that his dreams can, like, last perception wise years, but the time in the world will be, like, a constant. And so Izuku's like, so, and then, like, Izuku's like, is All Might okay? Did 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 I? And, like, at this point, Katsuki walks up to him and kind of punches him in the arm, and Izuku's like, ow, dude, you really shouldn't be doing that to a guy that was just on his deathbed, jokingly. And then Katsuki's like, man, shut up. You know how much worried I was? And Izuku kind of sees Katsuki's face and, like, Buck, like, Katsuki, like, Kachan's, like, he's holding back tears. And he's like, me and you, we're gonna talk after this. After everyone leaves and everything, I need to speak with you by yourself. And Izuku kind of, like, nods in that agreement, and he kind of like, understands, like, what's going on with Katsuki. And so, like, they keep him, like, for they want to keep him for, like, another, a few more days, just to, like, run some tests and make sure he's, like, again, he won't die by, like, doing normal activities, basically making sure he's okay. And so during these few days, like, they had contacted, like, Katsuki had contacted All Might and explained that Izuku was up, and All Might came and saw Izuku, and Izuku starts crying, and he's like, and All Might's like, young Midoriya, you shouldn't, like, you have nothing to cry about. And Izuku's like, no, All Might, like, I did it. I was able to save you. And All Might just walks up to him and he's like, I know, young Midoriya, but don't do that again. From what I saw, you probably would have died if she didn't show up. And at this, like, Izuku is like, so do you know who that was? And All Might's like, well, the information's not too clear, but what we do know is she's pretty much been around the same amount of time that All for One has. Like, I basically existed at the same time. And unlike All for One, she was more inclined to helping people. While All for One wanted to, like, control people. And then Izuku is like, well, All Might, I have some things that I need to discuss with you and Katsuki. Is there any way that you have time to, like, meet up with us and talk? And All Might's like, for you young men, if I don't have the time, I can make the time if I need to. And with this, they set up a time to actually go and speak in, like, a place to meet up. And after, like, towards the, like, at the end of the conversation, All Might just, like, debuffs, and he's just like, All Might, are you okay? What's going on? And All Might explains and is like, well, it seems, young Midoriya, that I thought I'd used all the embers, but, like, that flame is slowly getting bigger and bigger. It seems like I used way too much energy in that fight. And All Might explains that they had, like, he went all out to his absolute limit, and he thought he used up the powers of any kind of quiet sound. He's just like, one for all. And he's like, but it seems like it's slowly coming back, and my guess is combination between that quirk and yours, it did something weird. So I think I may be able to keep that power, like, indefinitely at a certain stage, but I can't use it all up, and it will take time for my body to stockpile that energy again. And Nizuku's just thinking, so if that happened with you, then maybe a similar thing happened with Katsuki. And this is just getting Nizuku thinking and everything. So with that, I'm going to leave this part off. Again, I wanted to apologize. Like, this is the fourth time that I've recorded this, and the other times I was stuttering quite a bit through it. And so I apologize for that. Again, like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy your day.